code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience. Shop out. Oh, yeah!
Yes. The mayor has hired a criminal defense attorney. Maybe she needs a private investigator. I've got one for her, the best.
Barnaby Jones.
That's right. He might be old, but he's effective. Plus Catwoman.
Also starring Lee Merriweather.
That's right, Catwoman.
The guest stars.
Big news of the day, Mayor LaToya Cantrell has hired one of the city's best criminal defense attorneys, Eddie Castaigne. You don't hire one of the city's best criminal defense attorneys unless you've received a target letter from the feds, unless the FBI directly or indirectly tipped you off that, hey, we think you've committed a crime, you might want to act accordingly. Not only has New Orleans Mayor LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell, a.k.a. Junket Cantrell, not only has she hired one of the city's best criminal defense attorneys, NOPD officer Jeffrey Vappy has done the same, hiring Harry Rosenberg, one of the best defense attorneys in America, a former U.S. attorney. How do you do much better than that? Got to give Vappy credit for hiring the best. Mayor Cantrell for hiring one of the best. The federal investigation continues. Reportedly, they're going after Cantrell for potential free gifts, money from vendors. Usually these types of investigations, C. Ray Nagin, for instance, lead to other criminal endeavors that reveal themselves. Jeffrey Vappy, falsified timesheets appear to be the main angle of the federal investigation. Yeah, the feds most likely have told the mayor, we think you've committed a crime. You might want to lawyer up. Maybe a target letter going to the mayor and or Jeffrey Vappy. We had Dr. Robert Collins, Dillard University political science professor, on the program last hour. He concurs with me on almost everything I've just said, including, do you think the mayor's going to be indicted? He says yes. I think so too. A lot of people are happy about that. Some people are happy about it because that's just how they are. They get off on other people's grief. They hate this mayor, dislike this mayor, so they let that hate control their life. I am glad to see this type of thing because the mayor appears, just on the surface, from what we can gather, to have done several things that at the very least are unethical, immoral, and not what you'd expect from the mayor. And that's being kind, very least. But in reality, that very much appear to be criminal. From smart cities to the clothing thing to the Pontalba and other things that I'm not even mentioning right now. If I just could pause for a moment and be silent for 30 seconds, I'd think of three more things that I'm not even thinking about right now. Now, it's not about ineffective mayor. We've had a lot of ineffective mayors. We've had a lot of ineffective mayors. It's hard to find a mayor where you're like more positives than negatives. Like, boy, those 5,000 Microsoft jobs brought to the city. I mean, we don't have those kind of victories. Not in my lifetime with almost every single mayor. It's very, very hard to find that. Mayors that have disappointed, mayors that are, either criminals or surrounded by criminal activity. We've got that in spades. We've got a lot of that. I mean, I would say Sidney Bartholomew and Mitch Landrieu, those two mayors appeared to be pretty free of any kind of criminal controversy. Every other mayor in my lifetime, I mean, Moon Landrieu, a little late in his career, had a few little gimmicks. Dutch Morial did. Mark Morial, you could argue the most corrupt administration in the city's history. You can go, Corey, what are you talking about? Google it. Go Google it. Look at all.com, the stories on, I mean, who wasn't indicted? Who didn't go to jail? I mean, Haydel, Mark Morial's mother's brother, Mark Morial's uncle went to jail. I mean, come on. Do you think Mark Morial is out of New Orleans, having zero influence on every single New Orleans election for the last 20 plus years? It's just a coincidence. Lives in New York, Urban League. They're political folks where the feds say, walk, get out of the city, get out of the job, stop your political influence, and we'll lay off. I think Mark Morial's one of those. There's a guy I know right now in this city that applies to. Bill Jefferson wins that congressional race against Joseph Gao. The Fed might have been like, step down from Congress, don't run again. We're going to slap you on the wrist with a fine and penalty and no jail time, but you're not a congressman. He didn't have that card to play, went to jail. I don't think the mayor's going to get a step down as mayor type of gimmick. And I think it's going to be beyond free gift and free money from vendors. It's going to be Smart City. It's going to be Pontalba. It's going to be several, basic enrichment type situations that the mayor wasn't entitled to, but took that entitlement mentality and grabbed it. No, what is, in my opinion, clearly unethical and immoral and not what you'd expect from a mayor. And I could think arguably criminal if you really wanted to push the envelope, but probably not, but definitely just immoral and unethical, these junkets. So, I mean, even the stuff the mayor does that some would kind of think are harmless, not criminal, they cost the city money and the city receives absolutely zero benefit. The only beneficiary is the mayor going on these trips under the guise as Mayor City of New Orleans doing something for the city. Now, the mayor of New Orleans thing entitles the mayor to go on these trips, on these junkets, spend city tax dollars and pretending it has something to do with the city. Of all these trips, of all these junkets the mayor's made, dozens and dozens of them, many of them international, there is not one single dollar that has been created. Not directly, not indirectly. There's not a dollar that the mayor can point to that was created from a single junket. And there's clearly not a single human being on planet Earth that has a job because of these junkets. A real job because of these junkets. A job that was created that benefits the city of New Orleans. Not a single human being. All those junkets, some honorable mayor with integrity going on that many trips, there'd be thousands and thousands of jobs to show for it. The citizens would be like, go on more of them. You're so successful. But we all know it's not about that. Wink, wink, whatever. So, no, the only reason I'm glad to see the mayor hire one of the best criminal defense attorneys, because deductive reasoning based off of facts leads to a logical conclusion that a federal indictment is coming down. And that's a good thing because this mayor has abused her office, continuously does it, with this belligerent entitlement mentality, almost like the Mardi Gras gesture at Gallier Hall, flipping the bird to the Tux crew, kind of that to the black, white, Republican, Democrat citizens of New Orleans. Screw you. I'm in for a second term. Fooled you twice. My 15 minutes is up soon, and I'm grabbing every damn thing that's not bolted to the ground. I am taking advantage of everything I can before I am gone as mayor, because after this, it's all downhill. There's no one that wants to hire me. I screwed up the nonprofit thing by diverting over $1 million of Wisner funds to one of my nonprofits. I had to give that back. Thank you, Office of Inspector General, for that investigation. No, the mayor's in trouble. And now the mayor's really in trouble. The worst kind of trouble. The feds zeroing in on Mayor LaToya Cantrell. The mayor hiring one of the city's best criminal defense attorneys. Same thing with Officer Jeffrey Vappy. Not looking good for those two. Hey, Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, is hiring. Go to latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Every Friday, tomorrow, Michael Heck joins us from Greater New Orleans Inc. We'll talk about this new Shell headquarters that Shell's building in New Orleans next and tomorrow. New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Coca-Cola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here. Delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. On the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any
value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. Without to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin will let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, business, 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business, 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw a young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased and have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more. Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
That's what I said. That's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants. Leidenheimer French bread. Pick up that Leidenheimer French bread at Rouse's Markets. Best quality, best price, best selection. Over 60 Rouses for over 60 years. A Rouse is near you. I got 4 Rouses within 10 minutes of my house. Rouse's Markets tastes like home. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. 5 o'clock power hour. Yeah, you right. Mayor LaToya Cantrell has hired one of the city's best criminal defense attorneys. The feds most likely have sent her a target letter or at least told her directly or indirectly, hey, we think you've committed a crime. You might want to lawyer up. The reason I say that's good news, not because I'm some vindictive person that hates the mayor and gets off on seeing people, having grief in their lives. No, I'm an elected official and has a belligerent entitlement and can't help herself. Just doesn't stop. Sort of, it's almost like, what are they saying? I'm going to double down on the opposite of what they're saying. They're mad at me for doing that. I'm doubling down on that. They're mad. I'm not doing anything. I'm doubling down on not doing anything. It's sort of that attitude coupled with criminal activity. I mean, the Pontalba is a perfect example. This entitlement mentality. I'm going to go stay at this apartment that has value, a lowball value, a conservative value of $3,000 a month. Get cable installed. These extras that normally aren't being paid for and build the city because I'm the mayor and I can do it. Well, you can't. And you can't take money or things of value, clothes from vendors. And Smart Cities was a big scam. That's why Magic Johnson ran from it. And Cox Cable, where I'm broadcasting right now, they were runner-ups. Why didn't you go to them and go, hey, the winners bailed. You guys were runner-up. Let's get this Smart City thing going. Because Cox wasn't in on the scam. When the feds are investigating the mayor, say for free gifts, money from vendors potentially, it usually leads to witnesses coming forward. And then all of a sudden they're saying, yeah, this. Oh, by the way, the mayor's doing this too. And either it's something totally new that the feds had no idea about, or the feds may ask that witness, hey, what about this? Do you know anything about this? So if I'm Mayor LaToya Cantrell, it was smart she hired Eddie Castang. That's one of the smart things she did. And it's smart Vappy hired Harry Rosenberg because these are great defense attorneys. And if you're a criminal and you're in trouble, you want these people hopefully to bail you out or at the very least to lower the amount of time that you're going to spend in jail. But an indictment seems inevitable. Dr. Robert Collins from Dillard University, he joined me last hour. He concurs with my assessment on just about everything I'm saying about this. Hey, momentum building for the new River District neighborhood. I'll fill you in on that. A new Shell headquarters, a new office building being built in downtown New Orleans for the first time in decades. Really? Wow. Love tossing this guy a bone every week. We have him on for just a few minutes. Should have him on for a lot longer because he does some great stuff for us. He's like the offensive lineman, the D lineman, doing the block and the grunt work in the trenches, not getting the glory that the wide receivers, the running backs, the quarterbacks, the cornerbacks receive. Talking about Jeff Dorson from the Humane Society of Louisiana. All he does every day, all day, 24/7, 365 for about the last 35 years straight is save animals in and around New Orleans in Louisiana, animals that are being abused, animals that are being neglected, goes in there and saves these animals by the thousands and thousands over the last 35 years. And poor Jeff Dorson, I'm guessing, besides going home to family in Indiana maybe once a year, once every other year, I'm guessing this poor guy's been on about 5 or 10 vacations in the last 35 years of his life. That's my guess. Real vacations where he goes somewhere, forgets about the animals and the work, and is somewhere for a week or two. I bet you it's about a half dozen in the last 35 years. How you doing, Jeff?
That's a great introduction. Thank you for all that.
Am I warm or I'm off? You're like, Corey, you're wrong. It's a tough job. I make sure I take 2 weeks every year and I go on vacation every year. You're wrong. What am I right or wrong?
You're absolutely correct.
I could tell.
You're one of the few people who even think about that. I'm grateful that that's even part of your thought or conversation. Most people don't think about what's happening to your neighbors or colleagues, how they're doing, if they're taking care of themselves. You're one of the few. So as embarrassing as it is, I thought about that myself. It's like I didn't even have one. I don't know if I haven't had a day off in like 29, 30, 35, 40 days. I mean, I take half days off. I take a couple, I take evenings off sometimes. But typically this is a grinding, grueling business where there's constant emergencies and it's just heartbreaking. It's hard to shut it off. I'd love to. And
no, the sad part is,
I don't know how to do it yet.
No, the sad part is it's the citizens of New Orleans and Louisiana that make your job so hard. If we just had the slightest inclination to enforce laws that are in place, if people were, just cared and would spay and neuter their cats and dogs, if folks would vaccinate their animals, if they'd go to the vet regularly, if people would turn in their neighbors that are abusing cats and dogs or horses or goats, if the laws were enforced, if we didn't have cockfighting and dog fighting as bad in Louisiana as any state in America. No, it's the citizens that let you down, Jeff, and that's why you don't get the vacation and you work 35 years. But I remember you telling me you came down here 35 years ago because Louisiana needed help. You figured you'd stay a few weeks, help out, and you've never left.
Yeah, true again. But I only have so much time, so I got to make it really happen, guys. It can't be me. But we have a nice new headquarters in Gretna, thanks to some donors. They saw the need. And it's just not going to be this. It's going to be a case where we actually do stuff. Like we come together and do strategies that really work and implement it and go all over the state. I'm having meetings every Saturday somewhere around the state to get people together so that we have high-level conversations on stuff that really actually, if you ask people, they do care. They just don't always think about it. They don't always are asked to do anything. But it's been a really interesting kind of laboratory where we get the sheriff and the police chief and maybe the fire and the parish president and all the rescuers. They typically don't talk to each other. And so what happens is when you put them in the room, they start comparing notes. Like, yes, it is a huge problem in the parish. I've never really thought about who's doing the work. What can we do to improve it? So St. James is a great example. They have nothing. They don't even have a vet clinic. They don't have one rescue group. We've had 2 meetings. The sheriff, the parish president, a council member, and about 24 people came together. Now they have a nonprofit that they're applying for. They have a game plan. They're all in communication, and they just rescued a few dogs and cats the other day on their own.
Wow.
So it can work. I know. It's like the smallest little steps can make the biggest difference.
That's amazing. That's good for you.
Corny as it is.
No, it's true.
In a nice, non-hostile environment where we just think and get to know each other and talk out loud, and it's working. Livingston, how's this? Corey, you and I have been talking about Livingston as a joke for years. We had 5 candidates running for parish president or council at our last meeting. They all stood up and vowed to help, and they were sincere.
Nice.
They wouldn't have come out of their way to come to this meeting. And
no, they want to be elected. The one who gets elected, you're going to have to stay on them to follow through on their commitment. Yep. Hey, the website's humanela.org. Yep. That's where you can donate. humanela.org. humanela.org. Please donate right now. Continue, Jeff. Yep. I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, thank you. Become a monthly donor, 10 a month. What's a cup of coffee? We'll go a long way. There's no frills here. No, There's no vacation. There's nothing. Just hard work.
Yep. No, I called you on a
Go
Sunday one time. 30 minutes later, you come from the West Bank. You're helping me with an animal on a Sunday afternoon. So it truly is nonstop. What's the latest and greatest? What have you guys been doing the last few days, the last week, as far as saving animals, helping animals in and around Louisiana, New Orleans?
Unfortunately, there's this horrible trend that you and I both know about. The shelters are full. There's people going back to work. Inflation is cutting into budgets. They're dumping animals right and left. It is driving us insane. We can't keep up. There's adoptions are down, transfers are down, and surrenders are up. And dumping is astronomical. It's through the roof. Every few hours, a mom and pup in the woods, a family of cats over here.
It's insane.
Threw a dog in the ravine.
People are crazy. So inhumane, just dumping off a dog and driving off. People are crazy.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
You got to treat it more humanely. I know it's a problem. You don't have the money. You can't afford the dog anymore. You took on the dog. So be a responsible adult and find a new owner for the dog. Don't just throw it out the window like it's trash. I don't know how you people live with yourselves. I swear. Just get rid of my problem, get rid of my trash, get rid of my dog, and just move on with my life. Okay, that's over with. No, it's not over with. It just started for a bunch of other people. People are insane. It's a joke. Well, pathetic.
To your credit,
hey, buddy,
you're very good at analyzing psychology, and you really do look at how people think and behave and act, and that's what you're really good at.
It's pretty simple and basic, Jeff. Hey, I saw on Twitter the storefront in Gretna you just mentioned. Will you be keeping animals there temporarily, or is it a headquarters for you guys? What's that all about? And how did how did you come about acquiring the property?
We knew we needed a headquarters. We need to have a professional presence in the city. We have sheltered before Katrina. It, flooded. We never came back. We've been scattered. We have properties in outlying areas, but nothing here. We can't keep working out of our homes and presenting this powerful presence in the state, which is what we want. So it's kind of an image building thing, but no animals. It's not zoned for that, and that's okay. We don't want drop-offs. We have enough. We want to now just focus on training and educating and meeting with elected officials and starting the higher level conversations that animals have value and they deserve a place. They deserve to have services be funded properly.
Yep.
That's a strange conversation for a lot of elected officials. Not strange, but unusual. They don't think like that.
No, and then
we're not asking them to.
And then we have a state-of-the-art facility. I'd say one of the best around. And this is just me saying it, not you, Jeff. I am about to be on the Louisiana SPCA's ass like a relentless, attack, because the Louisiana SPCA on the West Bank receives $1.8 million annually from the city of New Orleans, at least, to be the pound for the city. They receive countless millions just being a SPCA from around the country. Because the SPCA is the popular name, people in their will donate part of their estate to the SPCA, having no idea where the building's located, who runs it, and the worst part, they put down over 1,000 animals a year, state-of-the-art facility that if Jeff Dorson and the Humane Society of Louisiana controlled, they'd never, ever put down an animal. Jeff and his crew would be crying out of appreciation for this state-of-the-art facility, yet the Louisiana SPCA, Joe Canizero and his wife, their generosity, the land, many donors, many great New Orleanians going together for the animals, getting this state-of-the-art multi-million-dollar facility that was greatly needed, built, and you have a group that doesn't know how to run it, that puts down 1,000+ dogs and cats every year, that puts them down because, a bad attitude, bad temperament, just quick decision making. No, the Louisiana SPCA on the West Bank on Mardi Gras Boulevard is a broken entity that needs to be slapped around big time. And I'm about to get on their ass. That's all I got to say about that, Jeff.
Well, you started. Yeah, we get similar phone calls. People are upset. They'd like better services. They'd like more transparency. They'd like a partnership. They'd like communication. It's hard to contact anybody there, but I'll let you do most of that. I'll stick to what I can do. I just want to help.
I'm not. I shouldn't have even brought that up. Y'all are two totally different entities. It's the goals are supposed to be exactly the same. I just think they come up way short. And the fact that it's not a no-kill shelter, I think the city of New Orleans needs to say, we're not giving you the $1.8 million anymore because two reasons. One, we have no idea what you do with it. We call, no one answers. You guys do a terrible job for being the pound for the city. Second, you kill animals. So unless you stop putting down animals, you're not getting the $1.8 million. All right, I'll move on. Hey, Jeff, humanela.org, humanela.org. That's where you guys that's the website. That's where folks can donate. Facebook, Humane Society of Louisiana on Facebook. You guys are constantly updating that. I always tell folks, if they go to that page and see what you guys do, they'll donate.
Yep, we're trying to show people where it goes. What are we doing? Too, if there's a charity, don't hide what you're doing. Don't just sit back. There's too much work to do.
Yep.
So you try and make it clear that your donations make a difference every single day, and there's proof of it. So thank you for this. I just love having you this candid, frank conversations about we all have to do better. And join us. If this stuff matters to you, there's a huge opportunity to put it, get something going. What's your legacy? What do you want to be remembered for?
Yep.
So
no, look at Bob Barker passing away. Number one thing I remember, I was a kid and I was watching Sesame Street, and it's the early 70s. And then 10 a.m. Price is Right comes on. I remember it was minutes. I remember they extended it to an hour. I remember the Showcase Showdown, all these new things. And Bob Barker, even though he's messing with the mob, been messing with, every show at the end, Bob Barker would say, spay and neuter your pets. And this is, 1973. He's saying that.
Way ahead.
I don't know if that message 50 years later resonates in the least bit in New Orleans and Louisiana. And by the way, it's the law. It's the law.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So please listen up, everybody, and participate and join and care and get something going. I don't like being last in everything. Can we move it up a little bit? So call us, get yourself involved, and I promise you'll see a difference really quickly if you just stay with us. Humane Society of Louisiana. Corey, always great, always appreciative of these times and minutes.
HumaneLA.org. HumaneLA.org. Go to the website right now and donate $10, $100, $1,000, whatever you can donate. $5. It all adds up. It all helps. HumaneLA.org. The program, Jeff. Thank you for all you do.
Back at you. Yep. Thanks, Corey.
That's Jeff Dorson. Heard his dog barking in the background. HumaneLA.org is the website. Donate right now. Don't wait. HumaneLA.org. They deserve it. They've earned it. Mayor LaToya Cantrell has hired one of the city's best criminal defense attorneys. The federal investigation continues, reportedly focusing on Cantrell potential free gifts, money, things of value from city vendors. Sounds very familiar to the C. Ray Nagin saga. The feds have most likely either sent LaToya Cantrell a target letter or directly or indirectly, the feds, the FBI, has told LaToya Cantrell, you might want to lawyer up. An indictment seems inevitable for the mayor of the city of New Orleans. Yet again. What would this be? The second mayor out of the last three indicted by the feds? out of the last 3 mayors in the city of New Orleans indicted by the feds. The second mayor in just the last few decades to be indicted. Now, an indictment seems inevitable because, just use fact-based, logical, deductive reasoning. Premise number 1, there are reports that the feds have been investigating the mayor. There are reports of the clothing, smart cities, Pontalba, taking money, taking things of value from city vendors and the like. Lots of credible reports from multiple sources. Second, and this is a fact, the mayor has hired one of the city's best criminal defense attorneys. I think the logical conclusion from just those 2 basic premises would be an indictment is inevitable. The mayor has committed some type of crime or crimes, and the feds and the FBI are all over it. So either a direct target letter or direct conversation or indirect. The FBI telling someone that they know is a confidant or friend of the mayor's, let her know what's going on. So the mayor's reacting, hiring one of the city's best criminal defense attorneys. By the way, Jeffrey Vappy, police officer Jeffrey Vappy, doing the same. These aren't like, the Morris Bart types of the world. And Morris Bart's really not a criminal defense attorney, more of an ambulance chaser type, obviously. But these aren't just regular defense attorneys. Eddie Chastain, for that Cantrell hired, one of the best in the business and very, very expensive. Harry Rosenberg, that Jeffrey Vappy hired, smartest men in the city, former U.S. attorney. Hire these kind of folks? Seriously, when you've committed a crime and you're trying to get out of it or get the least amount of time possible. Or you are insanely innocent, blatantly, overtly innocent, and this is just obviously a scam, some vindictive, proactive chase, pursuit of an individual. I would think it's the former, not the latter. So LaToya Cantrell hiring one of the city's best defense criminal attorneys, I think an indictment is inevitable. Everything that I have said, my opinions based off of facts and other opinions and reports and the like. Dr. Robert Collins, Dillard political science professor, joined us last hour, concurs with everything I said. Last question I asked him, do you think the mayor's going to be indicted or not from the information that we have? He said his opinion, and he's not saying it's a fact. He doesn't have anything definitive to base on. It's going to happen. He said he could be wrong. He says his opinion, based on what he knows, the mayor will be indicted. I agree with him. 2 of Mayor Cantrell's appointees stepping down, and not Gregory Joseph, at least not yet. NOPD Deputy Superintendent Arlinda Westbrook stepping down. I don't know if that has to do with the mayor lawyering up or Ann Kirkpatrick named as the mayor's choice for NOPD chief. Also, the mayor's Department of Public Works director, Sarah Porteous, was an interim gig. She has stepped down, resigned. Don't know if that has anything to do with the mayor lawyering up or not. Hey, some great news for the city. I'll fill you in on that. Shell, 800 to 1,000 jobs. Not only staying in downtown, building a brand new headquarters, a brand new Gulf headquarters, Gulf of Mexico headquarters, a mid-rise office building being constructed from the ground up in New Orleans, an office building. That's got to be the first time in 30 years. I'll fill you in on that and more next. Hey, Leidenheimer Baking Company, since 1896, 125 years plus, 5 generations owned and operated. Still baking that Leidenheimer French bread right here in the city. From great restaurants to that po' boy you're loving, you know it's on Leidenheimer French bread. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread, Leidenheimer Baking Company.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Shop, Order curbside pickup online or with Rouse's Market Shopping app and let Rouse's personal shopper shop for you. Curbside pickup is free and you pay the same price for groceries as in store. Use code SAINTS20 and save $20 on orders of $100 or more. That's curbside convenience, shopper style. Oh yeah!
You're listening to The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Cotton Bowl winning coach Willie Fritz joining us on the program. Have you ever been part of a game that great?
A lot of things happen in the game. You just don't know the script. You got to adapt to improvise. You just got to keep playing hard the whole time. And our guys did an excellent job of that.
How big is yesterday for the overall future of the program?
You got to have the guys who really have a burning desire to get quality education and also be a great football player. You got to have both.
You've always have embraced New Orleans. You've been a great ambassador for the city, for Tulane University.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. My wife, I just love it here in New Orleans. And just everybody, the city's just sensational. We just a dime for a person who came up. I had tickets to Tulane Stadium. I've heard that a ton of times. And then, that's good that we're able to make some people happy.
That's Willie Fritz joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Roll wave.
The spirit of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on The Neutral Ground.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, It all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit Port Nola.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. Job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Calling an order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts. Facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company. Warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me, we're maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations. Get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
Hey, Baton Rouge. Helm Paint and Decorating now is in Baton Rouge in the capital city. That's right. Not 7, 8 Helm Paint and Decorating locations. 7 in Metro New Orleans, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore, and now Helm's 8th location, Highland Road, Perkins Road exit. That's exit 166 off I-10 in Baton Rouge. And you folks that live, say, by LSU or up by Southern in Scotlandville, off Choctaw, off Corsian Airline, wherever you are in Metro Baton Rouge, over in Bruley, Port Allen, wherever you are in Metro Baton Rouge, Helm Paint and Decorating's Baton Rouge location has free 2-hour delivery anywhere in Metro Baton Rouge. You can call them up, go online, pick out your Benjamin Moore colors, all the accessories you need, and within 2 hours, it's all delivered right to you in Baton Rouge. That's right, Helm Paint and Decorating, an 8th location now in the capital city. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans and now Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. Let them steer you in the right direction. You go to Helm Paint and Decorating. Baton Rouge location, Highland Road, Perkins Road exit. That's exit 166 off the I-10. Free 2-hour delivery anywhere in Metro Baton Rouge. Yeah, you right. Legendary Helm Paint and Decorating coming to the capital city. This is a big win. We'll talk tomorrow with Michael Heck from Greater New Orleans Inc. Shell, like many oil companies, talking about leaving New Orleans, taking all their operations to Houston. Thank God Chevron, although leaving the CBD and their building downtown, they went to an all-new campus, hundreds of employees in Covington on the North Shore. So that's a blessing. Chevron's still in Metro New Orleans, thank God. Shell has a few thousand jobs in Louisiana, about 800 white-collar jobs in the CBD, very important, in the old One Shell Square building, taking up, I think, about 10 or 12 floors there. Now the Hancock Whitney building. Shell is committed to the city. They're going to build a brand new, roughly $50 million, 140,000 plus square foot building to house their 800 or so New Orleans employees. And they're going to build it kind of an anchor building for the new River District neighborhood on the Mississippi River in between the Crescent City connection and the old Entergy power plant. Huge news. Shell and their 800 employees not going to Houston, going to a brand new mid-rise skyscraper in New Orleans. A new office tower being built in New Orleans. I would think for the first time in 30 plus years. I want to say the last office building built, Benson Tower, old Consolidated Natural Gas, C&G Tower. Right there by the Dome, by Champion Square. Part of the old New Orleans Center, above the old, Lord and Taylor. That building, I think, completed in 1990. Amazing. Hey, Lebanon's Cafe is open right now. Shish kebab, lamb chops, all your favorite. We're open till 9:30, right on the streetcar line. Jeanette, in between Claiborne's and the River Bend, convenient for Uptown Mid-City, convenient for Old Jefferson, Old Metairie folks. 5 minutes from where River Road and Causeway hit. Tonight for dinner, lamb chop, shish kebab, Middle Eastern sides, Lebanon's Cafe.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Day Spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations. New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location, Spa, woodhousespas.com.
My sit-to for grandmother used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, change. Join coalition.info.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding shutters. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. They'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Being part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's families, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Big news of the day, Mayor Cantrell hiring one of the city's best criminal defense attorneys. The feds most likely have sent her a target letter or directly or indirectly communicated to her that she is under criminal investigation. Mayor LaToya Cantrell, City of New Orleans, Junket Cantrell, LaToya the Destroyer, hiring one of the city's best criminal defense attorneys. I would say a federal indictment is inevitable. Also, NOPD officer Jeffrey Vappy hiring one of the city's best criminal defense attorneys as well. Dr. Robert Collins, Dillard political science professor, joined us last hour. Pretty much concurred with everything I said, including an indictment of the mayor seems inevitable. What's that, Blue Boy? The mayor with her brazen attitude. It seems like she's getting she deserves. You're right on the money, buddy. See you mañana.
You're on the new TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. On YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.